So I'm just going to have you say and spell your first and last name and just look into it.
Okay. My name is Erica Reddick. It's spelled E-R-I-C-K-A. Last name is spelled R-E-D-I-C.
And why are you here?
I'm here to show my support for law enforcement in the state of Vermont, city of Burlington. I think it's really important that during these times that we make sure we show our gratitude for the things that they do, while we also stand up and hold them accountable. We also have to make sure we're not demoralizing them to the point where they don't realize how important they are to our safety.
And I mean, what has this afternoon been like for you?
It's been really interesting. I've been really grateful to see all the people coming out in support of law enforcement. I will say I was very disappointed with the behavior of the Black Lives Matter people. They want people to believe that they're just peaceful protesters, but when they are aggressive, when you have, young men in their 20s who are big and burly, screaming and trying to incite an older man who's a veteran, right here, you can see it actually on my Facebook Live. I did a Facebook Live feed. It's on Generally Irritable. You can see that these people were really trying to incite us to fight back. And I think that's really disappointing. If you want to be taken seriously as a movement, violence is not the answer. If you want us to listen to you and be heard, you don't get to scream and disrupt our things. They have been largely left to protest and even vandalize many of our cities and towns with little resistance. And so this idea that they would come, be aggressive, try to scream over us is just really, it just looks very tacky for them. And I think that they lose potential allies that they could be gaining. As I mentioned and got derided for by some of these, that's all right. As I was derided for by some of these people, my husband is Black, and I am well aware of legitimate grievances that Black people have against certain industries, against certain cities and certain places, and this kind of rhetoric makes it so that instead of talking about what those legitimate grievances are and what really actually needs to be addressed for people of color, we're having to fight against this. We're like, if Black lives really matter, we would be talking about how to actually make things better for them. We wouldn't be talking about how terrible all the police are. We would be talking about volunteering, being big brothers, big sisters.
Yes, you
volunteering.
They can go towards that.
Volunteering. I don't think the government should have to pay for it. I think you, as a human being, should volunteer your time for an organization that makes things better for Black people. No, you're not making things better for Black people by being here. Go volunteer and be a big brother or big sister.
Black, but you're saying that as a non-Black person.
Do this, support entrepreneurs, do microloans for people so that they don't have to be dependent on other people. What you do is you get down into it with people. You volunteer your time, you volunteer your money, and you go out and you do something about it. Screaming at the wind saying all police are bad does not make Black lives better. It loses allies for people of color who need legitimate airtime for their grievances. And this is just really disappointing. The behavior is disappointing. If they could act like reasonable, rational people and have a conversation, things would be much better. But unfortunately,
you were not being
bashing through. If you were here earlier, ma'am, if you were here earlier, they came bashing through our lines. I had it on Facebook Live, watching you guys burn through the barriers and continue to surround our rally. So they were aggressively surrounding our rally, aggressively approaching our people. It's all on my Facebook Live feed. I really suggest that you have a look at it. I understand you weren't able to be here for the beginning, but the aggressors in this situation really were the protesters and not the rally participants. And they went
Facebook,
very
I have
far
left
out
the
of their
part
way.
The bald motherfucker that was pushing people around in the
Oh,
crowd.
see, and the language. See, we can't even be reasonable, rational people and have a conversation.
Look at me.
So, thank you for taking the time to ask some questions if you had anything else you wanted to
When you
ask.
interview Black Lives Matter
Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
I just am really disappointed. Like I said, there are legitimate grievances that Black people have, and this kind of rhetoric and this kind of behavior prevents those conversations from happening. Because, I mean, how do you reason with people who are just calling you names and saying lies and things that are untrue? You know, you can't have a reasonable conversation, and you can't come up with a solution if one side is telling lies and being
People talking
dishonest.
to you in the crowd. That's so false.
Thank you.